Hey everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today I want to tell you a story. So I want to tell you about something that happened when I was 22. My friends at the time thought I needed a man in my life. So they signed me up for a dating site. Now, as you know, I have a physical disability, and dating life and trying to find someone to date, it can be difficult. I don't necessarily want to live my life alone. I don't actually want kids. That's a whole different topic. By the way, obviously I had to pay for a 3-month subscription. So it wasn't like I was totally against it. But I want to share my experiences with you. And I also want to have a discussion of whether or not you personally think you should disclose your disability on a dating site. Because I've done two different ways at two different times in my life, and have mixed results. Some people are more open than others. So with that said, let's grab a cuppa and let's talk about Mel's adventures on a dating site. By the way, do you like my Evolution mug? Eevee's the only Pokemon I like, other than the Pikachu. Actually, I like Charizard too. He's a dragon type and I like dragons. Let's hop into this, shall we? Like I said, when I was 22, which was in 2011, two of my friends at the time thought, Mel needs to get out and date. Me, not necessarily being a fan of people at that time, went, okay, let's give this a try. So we set it up. So I don't know why they chose eHarmony. Anyway, we set up this dating profile. I didn't disclose I had a disability. There was things that hinted at it, but I didn't fully actually disclose it. So all in all, over 3 months, there was 4 different guys. I just want to say this, nothing worked out with anyone for various different reasons. I didn't even get past any of the actual phases of that site with anyone, except for one. So out of 4 guys, only 1 was interested. So let's talk about the ones that weren't so good, shall we? One was already in a relationship with someone, which I don't know why you would have still been on the dating site if you were seeing someone. The other was a little too far away, because I hadn't actually set up the location properly yet. He was in Australia, but I think he was more in Queensland. So because I hadn't set up that parameter yet, that was awkward. Anyway, that didn't work out. The third one did reply back, but it was a rejection. Now, it wasn't a rejection because of the disability. I actually got rejected because of my religious status, or let's just face it, non-religious status. He essentially asked me about my faith and whether or not I practiced. I said no. The guy actually wanted someone who shared his beliefs, and that's all good. I just still kind of find it funny that I was rejected for my lack of religious status when I was more worried about someone rejecting me for my disability. My membership was about to expire. Then guy number 4, the one that went to the messaging stage, which was stage 3. I don't know what eHarmony is like these days. I don't want to know. But there was the initial interest stage, then ask a couple questions to get a feel Then it moved on to the messaging stage. I had more luck with this guy than I did with the others. Now, granted, like I said, I was 22. He was actually 5-6 years older than me, which didn't really bother me. And I expressed my interest. He expressed interest back. So we get to the questioning phase, and he asked me something. And because I had sent him a couple questions before, alluding to a couple of different things, he's like, and he asked this even though it was in written form, very politely, is it cerebral palsy? I was sitting there thinking, okay, he may be a good match. So anyway, we sent this off and got to the messaging stage. We, for about a week, exchanged a couple messages. He had things going on his end, and I had a couple of things family related going on in mine. So what we did was he gave me his number, and I sent mine, but I do not know. I think something may have happened between him giving me his number and me sending that message with mine, because I got blocked and I didn't know that at the time. I don't know if it was something that I had said or not, because there's can be some things within my personality that are actually extreme. I had thought I had actually made somewhat of a connection, like as much as you can. Now, the only problem, before we get on to the calling him part, the only thing I could really see as a problem is the fact that I lived in Sydney's inner west, still do. He was from Eden. For those who don't live in New South Wales, or who are actually watching this and live overseas, the part of where I am in Sydney is probably here. Eden is a fishing town towards Melbourne's border. I was never good at geography, and I didn't know where Eden was until Eden is 9 hours away. How does that Game of Thrones saying go again? Oh, that's right. You sweet, naive summer child. So that should have been a red flag. Actually, Mel and geography should just be a red flag at this point. So anyway, I sent the message with my number, and it wasn't until a week later when I checked the site again that I had figured out that he had actually blocked the match. I have a problem with calling people. I probably should have told him that. But it wasn't as bad. I only had left it a couple weeks. It wasn't like I left it a couple months. But I did call him, I got his message bank, and left a message. So I had never heard back from him. I tried calling him again a couple days later. I get a text message back. Who is this? I literally left a message with my name and how I got your number. I didn't actually write this back, but it was like, you gave me your number. I'm so-and-so. You gave me this number because we met this way. And I'm actually calling you. I never got a reply back. This is when I checked the site and noticed that he had blocked me as a match. I was like, okay, so where was all these things you were saying? You seemed like such a nice guy. Why? What happened? It's not like I ghosted you. I did actually tell you that I was busy. Like, I was studying wedding planning at the time. And I was doing everything for that. But it's not like I deliberately cut off contact with you. I made an effort. I don't know what happened. No words. Because my 3-month subscription was ending just the day before I contacted him. The day after I contacted him, sorry. I extended my membership by another month for this one chance. And I don't know if it was worth it. In general, even back then, because of things that have happened within my family, I do have trust issues with people. I do give people the benefit of the doubt, but how long are you supposed to wait? I gave it a month after I first contacted him. I cancelled my subscription after the next month was about to run out, and I closed the account. I tried. I literally did try. And what do I have to show for it? Someone who promised, I don't care about your disability, I still want to date you. I didn't know ghosting was a thing back then. I've never told my family this story, and if they find this, I'm sorry, but your daughter has a life, and that's it. So I ended up moving on with my life, met new people. Years later, everything was good. Lockdown happened and I started getting lonely again. So I don't remember the name of this site, and this is where part of the conversation I want to have comes in. I decided to give it another go, and when I was 32, I signed up for another dating site. I only was there less than a month because it wasn't going anywhere. Now you're probably thinking you should probably give it a lot more time, but no. Anyway, when I set this account up, I was toying with the idea of disclosing my disability. I didn't at first. I did have the part where it said, just a heads up, I have a physical disability, I'm in a wheelchair, but I am willing to give it a shot. Anyway, I had saved that part somewhere else and just didn't have the disability part of it for the first few days. It's nothing. Anyway, so I disclosed my disability a few days later. Nothing. Now, I have tried to meet people in real life. I go out regularly. I try to meet new people. And either way, it fails. But I do try. So yes. So there is the issue of should you disclose your disability or not? Well, that is personal preference. I've tried both ways, and both ways have failed. So, yeah, that is my dating site history. So, let me know, have you done this before? Have you got a physical disability and have you been on a dating site? Did you disclose? How'd that go for you? Let me know. Please be respectful down in the comments. And thank you for listening to my ramblings on my dating stories, on my dating site stories, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I want to show you something. Say hello, people. My name is Squirt. I'm just looking for love and attention. I'm a Chihuahua, and I think I own the place.